Hi friends, I'm Carter. I am addicted to vape. It all started 2 years back when I joined this new college. The students here looked super cool and were talented too. The athletes were super fit and the musicians were far better than others. I initially did not understand the reason behind this until I saw few students vaping. I asked one of my new friends, Ralph, why does everyone vape here? And he replied that vaping improves the performance. I did not believe him at first. I'm a sports person and 100-meter sprinting is what I play. In my previous college, I was the one with the best speed. But there, I did not even make it to the top 3. I was disappointed by my performance, but other players' performances fascinated me. And one day, I saw the top players vaping. And this made me think that there must be something in vaping. I met Ralph again and told him that I want to try vaping. He smiled and offered me his vape. This was the very first time I saw a vape. I took a smoke and began to cough. It was so hard. Ralph laughed at me and said, "Don't worry, you'll get used to it." I took another smoke and it was getting better. Ralph told me that vape comes in many flavors and intensity. He told me to buy low-intensity vapes in the beginning. I went back home and collected all my savings. It was $500 altogether. I was happy because it was enough to buy a vape. Ralph took me to a vendor where we bought the vape for $200 and many flavor vape liquids. Ralph said that initially I must smoke only twice a day, and I started as he said. Within few days, my performance improved and I came second in the race. I was over the moon. I wanted to be the best, and then I started vaping thrice a day with the hope that it will improve my performance even further. It did happen. I came first and I was so happy. Ralph was happy too, and he asked me for a treat. I agreed. We met in a pub. We danced and partied for hours. It was around 12 and Ralph wanted to vape, but the security asked him to go out and vape. I joined him. We were behind the pub building, vaping, when I saw a luxurious car stop at a distance. Ralph asked me to come back in, but I was fascinated by the car. I stood there for a while. Ralph went in. Then I saw a man dressed in suit walking out of the car. And then suddenly, 2 bikes came from nowhere. The bikers had guns and they shot the man. The man fell straight on the ground. I was shocked. I immediately hid myself behind the building and then hurriedly went inside the pub. Ralph inquired and I told him everything. He told me to keep my mouth shut and immediately leave the place. Ralph dropped me home. I told him that we must inform the police about it. Ralph was against this. He said we might get into trouble and it's best to keep my mouth shut. But I saw the murder with my own eyes. That night, I could not sleep. The incident I saw kept repeating in my mind. I began to feel that I could have saved the man. I was a coward. I knew what I did was wrong. I should have informed the police. Next day, I saw in the news that the person who was murdered was a rich industrialist. He had helped thousands. People were praying for his peace of soul. Thousands had gathered for his funeral. He was truly a noble man. And seeing this made me feel even worse. I went to Ralph. Ralph, I must tell police everything I saw. It might help them. Ralph straight away said a no. He said that we would be trapped in a problem. Police would think that we were the murderers. And on the other hand, the murderers would not leave us. It was a high-profile murder, and so everybody would be involved in it. I believed that whatever Ralph said was right. For a while, I was silent. Then I went home, and I heard my mom say good things about the industrialist. She said that the man helped her complete her education and also offered her first job. It was a high moment. I cried and told my mom. I saw the murder, Mom. I was there when they killed him. I sobbed. My mother hugged me, and then I told her everything. She said, we must inform the police. But I also told her what Ralph said. Mom said, whatever it is, we must inform the police. She took me to the police station and I confessed everything. Mom was shocked that I had started vaping. But she was more concerned with the case. I gave every tiny detail to the police inspector. I recalled the bike numbers. The police officer took my statement and asked me to wait in the station till they grab hold of the criminals. My mom was waiting there too. It took them 6 hours to grab the two culprits. I did not see the faces, but the bodies seemed same. I confirmed what I saw, and then the police took the criminals to custody and the police sent me home. We went back home and mom asked me to promise her that I would not vape again. I did promise her. But it is very difficult for me to stop vaping all of a sudden. Every now and then I secretly vape. Few days later, they took me to court and I confessed everything I saw. The court will take its judgment now. But now I'm happy that I did not hide the truth. My burden is gone and I am free. Hope one day I would be free from vaping habit too. I want to stop this habit. It must have improved my performance, but I know in long term it would spoil my health. Hope soon I would stop vaping. If you like my story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe the channel. My mom and dad hate me for being fat. Hi friends, I'm Alex. As far as I remember, I was always fat. I was 5, a little overweight for my weight. Back then, mom and dad loved me. My weight was not a concern for them. But now, they always scold me for being so fat. We never wanted a fat kid. You are a disgrace to the family. And what not? I have been hearing all this for long now. It's not that I don't try to lose weight, but it's impossible for me to lose weight. I sweat in the gym for hours, and still the results are the same. What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? Look at my parents. They're so perfect. In their 50s, I think they're the fittest. And why won't they be? They own the most popular gym in the town. They also own a supplement company. And that's the reason they hate me the most. People in the town have been talking about me and taunting them. My dad has been a supermodel and mom loves being fit. Then, what's wrong with me? To find this out, last week mom and dad took me to another town. The doctors there conducted many tests and then we returned back. And today, hopefully the test results would be here. I hope there would be a breakthrough and I will lose weight. And again my parents would love me. As I entered the house, I heard mom and dad quarreling. My mom was yelling at the top of her voice. This is because of that bitch. She was fat. And she has caused our son to be fat too. And dad replied, we never knew about her genetic history before, Lara. Or else we wouldn't have hired her. I wanted to know whom they were talking about and what was the matter. So, I slung open the door and asked, what's all this? What are you two hiding? Seeing me, mom and dad's face turned pale. Dad walked to me and said, stay away from this. Stay away from a matter that concerns my plight. I was so restless. You need to tell me the truth right away. You're hiding something from me. And who are you talking about? God damn, speak up! There was a moment of silence and mom started crying. She said, you're my son and you will always be mine. And she sat on the sofa. Dad gestured me to come close. He started. It was almost 10 years for our marriage. Lara had multiple miscarriages and we wanted a child for long. So we decided to surrogate. What? I was born through a surrogate mother? I never knew this. Dad continued that they chose a fat surrogate mother for me because the doctors suggested that fat mothers deliver healthy babies. Her name was Ruby. Dad even showed me her picture and then I realized that I look similar to Ruby. In surrogacy, the sperms and eggs belong to my parents. Then how come I resemble my surrogate mother? Last week, multiple tests were conducted on DNA. And DNA reports suggest that I had my parents' DNA only 66%. Rest 34 is unknown. And now I realized why I was not like my parents. Dad said he talked with the doctor then and learned that Ruby had a rare genetic condition which inhibits her to lose weight. But in surrogacy, there is only 1% chance of surrogate mother's DNA affecting the baby. And I belong to that 1%. I asked Dad, where is she now? And Dad replied, Texas. I wanted to meet her because somewhere we were related. I begged, "Dad, can I please meet her once? Please, please." Dad agreed. I then flight to Texas. A guide took me to the city hospital. My surrogate mother Ruby was hospitalized. I walked into her room and saw a huge lady. She must have been some 300 pounds. She was lying on the bed. She looked closely at me and asked, "Hello, do I know you?" And I nodded a no. She continued, "Oh, anyways, there is no one who comes to meet me. I don't have any family or friends. I am just waiting for God to pick me up." I was shocked to hear this. Later, I talked to the nurse and she revealed that Ruby is in the hospital for the last 4 years and no one ever came to visit her. I then walked to the lady. I showed her the pictures of my mom and dad. She instantly recognized them. "So, I gave you birth. That's so good you came to visit me." She hugged me, kissed me as if I was her son. There was some connection between us. I don't know why, but I liked her. Ruby was very happy to see me, and even I was. I called Dad and told him everything. "Oh, poor Ruby," Dad replied. And then I asked Dad, "Dad, can we shift Ruby to our city?" "But why?" he asked, and I replied, "She might not live long, and I want to visit her often." "Okay, I will talk to the doctors," Dad replied. I spent some more time with Ruby and then took a flight back. My mom was tensed, and I hugged her and said, "I love you, Mom." All her worries instantly faded. A week back, Ruby was shifted to our city hospital, and since then, we visited her often. She likes me a lot, and I like her too. Mom and Dad are no longer ashamed of me being fat, as they learned the real reason behind it. And now, they have accepted me the way I am. I still have to go to the gym every day to keep myself fit. But now, I have no regrets of not losing weight. I am happy. If you liked my story, do subscribe the channel for more such